And welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment. I'm honored to have with me today Brian Brown, who is the owner and operator of the China Ranch Date Farm and Desert Oasis in Tacoma, California. And it looks like we have a bakery in front of us because these are some of the wares that he sells, that he accumulates, that he painstakingly grows on the date palms over there. So tell us a little bit, how long have you been doing that? As long as I've known you.
Yeah.
So that's a quarter of a century.
Yeah. So, well, my late wife Bonnie and I moved there in 1979 and began. The China Ranch had a history of being, most of its history, various attempts at traditional cattle ranching and traditional Western ranching, and it looks like financially it failed many times over because it was just so hot and so isolated and so difficult and just off the grid and all of those things.
Yeah.
And so we began changing after we got the place cleared and whatnot, we began changing the program in there and turning it into, after doing some research, a date farm. So we started planting date palms in about 1989. Now we have 25 acres of trees, about 1,500 trees. I did some research, and turns out there are many different kinds of dates, like there are different kinds of apples, different colors, shapes, and sizes. Mm-hmm. But because they're not part of the traditional American diet, people just don't know much about them.
You gave me my first date. That didn't sound right. Yeah. But I had never eaten one before.
Want to rephrase that?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
But yeah, I had never had one either.
Yeah. And so anyway, they're very nutritious. They're the fruit from Phoenix dactylifera date palms, which evolved in North Africa and the Holy Land, Arabia, that type of place, which is just about analogous to our climate here. So the trees do very well here. They're real tough, real durable, and they put out hundreds of pounds per year of this very luscious, nutritious fruit. And most people maybe have had a date in granola or fruit cake or something like that. And but they're just freestanding by themselves. They're very good, and you can do all manner of cooking with them. They're considered a superfood. They're so full of certain nutrients. But anyway, we went out and acquired young trees of many different varieties. And so if you look at this gift pack here, for example, you can see they're different colors and shapes and sizes. This is one of our things that we sell. This is our most popular holiday gift. It's called our 2.5 pound sampler. And you get 4 different varieties of dates, and you can walk into the store and buy them, or you can call us, and we mail order ship these all over the U.S.
So, Mike, do you have the picture of the 2.5 and the 5 pound? You don't? Well, I just wasted a minute.
Well, and we also, so we grow dates. We put out about 50 to 60,000 pounds a year of the fruit. It's very labor intensive. Dates, unfortunately, don't lend themselves to much mechanization, so it just requires lots of sets of hands. Yeah, there's a nice picture of the growth there. And
those are some of the original ones? Or?
So we have, no, those are ones that I planted.
Okay.
And we have paid employed, but we also have a volunteer program, WOOFing it's called, Willing Workers on Organic Farms Worldwide, WOOF. And so these volunteers are called woofers. And we do a labor exchange. They do 25 hours of work a week, and we give them room and board. In their time off, they're free to wander and explore the desert. So they'll typically come in for 2 weeks to a month and then journey on and go elsewhere. So it's good for us because we always have work to do. Good for them because they get a pretty unique experience.
All right. Now, I am a caretaker of the little Catholic church in Shoshone, and we've got a couple of palms over there that they're not well manicured. But last year, there were dates there. This year, there are none. What does that mean?
Well, I'd have to stop and look at the trees. I'm not sure exactly.
There's male and female?
There are male and female trees. Only the female produces fruit. You generally need only one male for about 40 to 50 female trees because we collect the male pollen and hand pollinate all the flowers. And the type of date is determined by the female tree. So that's sexual reproduction, male and female gametes coming together to make a new individual, a seed. They also reproduce asexually by putting out little clones, little sucker trees around their bottom, and those can be detached and rooted and planted, and those will be an exact replica of the tree they came off of. So they'll be the same sex as the tree they came off of, and if they're a female, they'll give you the same type of date of the tree that they came off of.
Wow,
So that's how date farmers keep track of if they want to plant some varieties that are better than others. We don't plant seeds. We plant the offshoots from the best trees. You can get beautiful trees from planting seeds, but you'll have no idea what they are, males or females. There's a nice shot of our gift shop and bakery there.
Yes.
And some of the date palms. So they're very they're interesting trees. They've got an interesting history. They're the oldest known cultivated tree crop on the planet that we know of. So people were growing date palms 6,000 and 7,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, what is now Iraq, and trading them for goats and whatever they did, wives and other things. But so date palms go way, way back, and they're good, durable trees. They're also used for landscaping. People driving by the entrance to the Mountain Falls housing community up here in the north end of your valley, those tall, elegant-looking trees at the entrance, those are date palms. And so people in Pahrump who want to have date palms, they can have them. We also sell trees, everything from $100 starter trees that are about 3 or 4 feet tall, all the way up to nice, giant, big-sized landscape specimens for about $2,000. And at every price in between, from $100 to $2,000, various sizes, and you can come and pick out your own trees if you like.
Now, what are the ones that are short and stubby? Is that the...
Well, that's more of a function of their age. There are many different kinds of palm trees. You might be thinking of the Canary Island palms that have very big, some people call them pineapple palms because the way they get trimmed.
Yeah.
But that's just really, they are short and fat initially before they get very tall. So palm trees are very, very old trees. They predate dinosaurs, for example. They're actually a grass. They're not a true wood-forming tree. They're kind of a giant grass, but they're obviously doing something right because they've been around for 300 to 400 million years.
Now, I did see, some years ago, I went down to a place called Slab City by Nyland, and they have got off a lot of palm trees over there. There was one, I don't know how many acres, 20 acres or whatever it was. Looks like somebody just left them barren and they all died, and they were all in beautiful rows. But every one of them, they had that's a lot of money. Yeah,
it is. It is. They, if you look at each of those trees as $1,000 bill, let's say, or more, and do the math, and you can see, gee, that was. But they take water, and I don't know what the circumstance was.
Neither did I, but I says, oh my God, every one of them was dark.
Yeah.
And they were very, very tall.
Yeah. And that's the Coachella Valley. If you went toward Mexico for 250 miles, in the Coachella Valley where Palm Springs is and the Salton Sea, that's where the American date industry is. It's down there, and it's down near Yuma, Arizona. And then on the Mexico side, they grow dates also. Their seasons are longer and their winters are much warmer. But dates will grow fine up here also. But we're kind of the outlier. We're the northernmost date farm in North America.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. It's a little, point of interest perhaps.
Now, they have what's called the American Canal down there, too.
All-American Canal,
All-American Canal. So I've let them know that you could help yourself if you put some solar panels on top of that and you cover that.
Right.
You'll create power, and then you'll have less evaporation.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what do you do for your keeping your palm trees healthy?
Well, we irrigate. We have an irrigation reservoir at the top of our canyon, and it's on a gravity feed system that takes the water down to the date groves. And so we water, judiciously, and we fertilize. And but yeah, water management and farming anywhere in the modern American West is one of the very key things. Yeah.
Now, you had the irrigation, those big metal tubes. You found those near Baker, was it?
Well, no, the aluminum pipes. Yeah, the 6-inch pipes. We actually lost about 700 or 800 feet of that in that big fire we had.
That was
it was down by Kelso. It was the Union Pacific Railroad years ago was replacing their aluminum pipe with buried plastic, I think. That they irrigated rows of trees to keep the sand off the tracks, to keep the sand from derailing trains, derailing their trains.
Oh, okay.
And so they were getting rid of this pipe, so we went down there and bought a mile of it for a great price. and that was how we initially began to move water from the reservoir down to the field. But the ranch is, it's a very important ecological oasis also. We do a lot of work with the federal agencies, the Bureau of Land Management, Fish and Wildlife Service, the Bureau, and others, the Amargosa Conservancy, Nature Conservancy, and such, to preserve habitat for several species of endangered birds that come and nest there. Well, right now we're working on a fire fuel reduction project on a grant we got from Fish and Wildlife Service, and we are thinning out all the dangerous down dead stuff and getting rid of the brush, and so we're giving away firewood. If anybody out there wants some firewood, give us a call and come to China Ranch and bring your truck and load it up for free.
I know that's not the first time you've done that too. I've seen that in the past too, but that could be very dangerous too.
Well, yeah, we had a catastrophic fire.
21,
yeah, so a little over 2 years ago now, and it burned about 32 acres of our land plus a little bit of BLM land. The area's coming back nicely. We've done some restoration work and trying to keep unwanted invasive species out and such, but it kind of sounds funny but comical, forest fire in the desert, but that's essentially what it was. It was just too big and to stop, so we were able to kind of contain it and let it burn out.
Yes, and there's a stupid way it started too, but that'll take too long to describe that. But anyway.
Be careful with your fireworks.
So we're already done with this segment, so let's think about coming back for another segment really quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about China Ranch present date and date, like in the date palms, and then we'll see you back in the second segment with this is Brian Brown once again, the owner and operator of the China Ranch Date Farm. And did we have his phone number down there? Yes, because that's important, and we'll tell you how to get there.
4415. That's wrong. That says 15. Okay, yeah.
Yes, we've got that right.
35.
All right, we'll see you in the next segment then. So thank you, Brian, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you right back. And welcome once again. Welcome back to Community Viewpoint. As you know, I'm here with Brian Brown, the owner and operator of China Ranch Date Farm and the Desert Oasis. For those of you that don't know about that, we do have an oasis, which is 40 miles?
About 45 miles from here, John.
Yes. Now, let's look at the map to start out with. So this is the map that I pulled off. It's easiest for me to read, maybe not for you, but you can go from Pahrump to Route 372. And what's the route on your side of the?
Gosh, I want to say
127?
I'm not sure. But anyway, 372 then to 127 to Tacopa. So go to Shoshone and then to Tacopa.
And then you make a left, you go down, you go past the hot baths. You can go that way, or you can take the highway and make a left right at the Old Spanish Trail. And then you'll see the yellow sign. Did you get the yellow sign there also?
Yeah, we've got, there we go.
There's a new sign someplace.
Yeah, well, those we've just replaced those. Those were
those
are pretty old and tired, but they're the same message. Just tells you which way to go to get to the ranch.
Now, do you have a new one over by the solar panels too?
No, we're not allowed to put signs up there. We had one there. Years ago, the NDOT took it, confiscated it.
Oh, okay.
We had to go bail it out at the yard at Spring Mountain.
So now this is for Aunt Susie and your wife while you're over there having a smoothie or a date shake. This was Bonnie's Pride and Joy?
Yeah, the gift shop and bakery. So we sell all sorts of nice gifts and pretty unique stuff, some local craftspeople as well as things we buy from all over the place as far away as Mexico.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. There's a date shake, yeah. That's kind of one of our signature products, and they're delicious.
They are. They're quite delicious and quite caloric. Try our date shakes. Also, you have something new that you started a couple of years ago? The smoothie?
Oh, yeah. We have a non-dairy smoothie and
that's what
a frappe if you have problems with dairy or whatever. The other thing I would like to mention about the ranch, John, is that it's also trailhead for hiking into the Amargosa Canyon, which you might also be surprised to know that there's a little section of running river nearby here. The Amargosa River from Shoshone from Tecopa down past China Ranch is permanently flowing. It's federal designation as a wild and scenic river. It's critical habitat. You can drive within about a mile from China Ranch and park at China Ranch, and we've got picnic tables and bathrooms and all of that. And then if you're up for it, you can walk a mile down to the river, and there's wonderful hikes. There's slot canyons and really beautiful areas to see around there. So if you want a good time to, there we go, there's the approach road. If you want to get out and experience the desert, it's a great way to do it. And you can walk or hike around the ranch as much or as little as you like, or like I say, you can go out into the desert.
Now you have the canyon there too. That was a surprise. So the first time I saw that.
Yeah, the Amargosa River Canyon.
You have
and China Ranch, we have facilities where you can kind of use it as a trailhead. Yeah, and then you can also come in usually from the Tecopa end. And if you're a vigorous hiker, it's about a 5-mile walk from Tecopa to China Ranch or vice versa. So you can start at China Ranch and have a date shake and hike there and go to the brewery and have a beer, or the other way, start out with a beer and end with a date shake if you like. So.
Yeah. So you have all these things to do down there. The Tidewater, Tonopah Tidewater. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. I stop it right there. Because I'm not going to be able to clear that very well. So we're looking at the Tonopah and Tidewater Railroad trail over there, and it's a beautiful trail. It's nice and flat, and it's only nice and flat because there's no rails there, because those were taken up for the war effort in World War II.
Yeah, correct. The Tonopah and Tidewater ran from 1906 until 1939, less and less as the years went by, but it right before World War II, they did the final run, and it became, in its latter days, it was known as the TNT, the Tonopah and Tidewater, or the Tired and Tardy. So, but yeah, I mean, in the day before paved road, that's how people got into the Death Valley region. You got on the railroad in San Bernardino or somewhere, and you did a transfer at Crucero, and then you came up into Death Valley because the roads were not paved. You were taking your life in your own hands, going out on a dirt road out here in those days. And, Death Valley was not a national park. People were still walking around with burros, and so, it was the railroad served a vital function until just as modern highways kind of put it out of business.
And the road has always been open between Shoshone and Tecopa, but it's been closed until the 5th of next month.
Monday, the 4th. The 4th of December.
Okay.
Yeah, to Baker. During those storms we had in September, about 2 weeks after Hurricane Hillary came through, we took a huge hit from just a big monsoonal cell. And it tore out Highway 127 to Baker, miles. I've not been down there, but I understand there's several miles of asphalt that are gone. It's a mess. And it's been closed for 3 months, which has impacted our business and our community. But Monday, December 4th, they're opening it up with escorts. It's a gravel bypass roads around the worst part of it. Okay. But currently, if you want to go to Southern California, you have to go to Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And for us, it adds about 2.5 hours to the trip.
Yes.
And so this will be nice to have that road open again for sure.
Definitely. So that's the latest for the road. Now, also, you can take 2 roads. Let's have that map up there also. You can go out to Shoshone and make a left-hand turn, or you could leave Pahrump and go on 160 and go north towards Vegas and make a right-hand turn at the
Tecopa
Road, which turns into the Old Spanish Trail. That is much lonely, but it's a more picturesque road. I love that. If you can stay awake, if you're good at driving, and you memorize the road, it's a beautiful, relaxing drive. So but if you break down, you have less chance.
Yeah. The whole region is very interesting, and we were, of course, associated with Death Valley and development of mining. The Tacoma region, there were significant lead and silver and talc mines through the 1980s
Yes,
in that
the
area.
talc mines, yes.
Shoshone's an interesting little place with the old caves in Dublin Gulch and a warm water swimming pool for guests there. A nice little museum. If you like museums, the Shoshone Museum is just a fun little visit. And there's lots of hiking. Tacoma has natural hot springs, several different ones that are little commercial enterprises. There's a nice little cafe and a brewery there in Tacoma now. So it's a fun day for an outing. And this is all 45 minutes from Pahrump, just across the California line.
So if you're looking for something to do, you don't want to go to Vegas and spend a lot of money, possibly gamble it away. And if you like the outdoors, it's just waiting there for you.
Yeah.
And it's been there. And the Crowbar is opening up soon also.
Yeah, the kind of historic restaurant in Shoshone, it's been closed for major renovation
And
since midsummer.
They're going to have indoor bathrooms now.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave.
Big update. Yeah, what?
We're not making fun of you,
We're
Susan.
coming into this century. That's a good thing.
Yes, you can get a lotto ticket while you're over there.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
So
That's
the
important.
China Ranch Date Farm, and basically it's been there since.
Well, the property's been there forever, of
Forever.
course, but as a date farm in its current incarnation, since we opened to the public and put up the gift shop and bakery and opened to the public in 1996. Not sure if it was going to work or not. Actually, we lived there long, but it takes a while for the trees to get up and bearing, and so we were both. My wife and I both had off the farm job while we developed that, and once we opened it, it immediately became very popular, and we realized, hey, we got something here, and so. I was able to step away from my teaching job at the high school and junior high in Shoshone and start doing the farming and the gift shop full time.
And Bonnie was a postmaster?
Yeah, my late wife Bonnie was a postmaster in Shoshone, and then she worked in Tacoma also. Very hard-working, enterprising woman, lovely woman. Yeah.
I would go get my specialty stamps. I'd go all the way out there from Peru just to hear the latest. We had fun. Yeah.
If you want to know who's not sleeping with who, go to the post office and talk to the postmaster in a small town. That's the truth of it.
Yeah. So there's two different ways to go to China Ranch, and they're only about 6 minutes apart as far as the distance. So when you're down there, you can go to the little shop to get your little housewares, little things that that'll keep your aunt and uncle and friends happy.
Yeah.
I don't get into it. My wife would love that.
Yeah.
But
we take credit cards, folks.
Yes. But these are some of the wares that they have over there. You have the date bread to die for, not literally.
Yeah.
You warm that up, put a little butter on that, and you have the cookies.
Cookies, yeah.
Now, my wife said, "You're nuts when I say I want the ones with the white chocolate." She says, "Isn't that an oxymoron, white and chocolate?" But
there's such a thing, yeah.
Yes, and I love those. And then you have the dates here, the different types of dates.
Yeah, and the new little item we're doing is a brownie. One of our chefs came up with this, it's date-based brownie. They're delicious, really rich, and this with a scoop of ice cream on it is a real treat. So those are available, and you can come and get these baked fresh every day. We ship them out for gifts. They make lovely holiday gifts any time of year, but there's a sort of a traditional connection between dates and the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving and whatnot. So, yeah, we can fill your needs in that regard, certainly.
Do we have any other pictures up there we could relate to? That was it?
But date palms, yeah. So we there's a fruit, and if I know that there's a lot of people that are, housings in Pahrump is a big ongoing thing. Again, we'll be selling, and we're very reasonable. Anybody who's interested in getting date palm trees in the spring and summer, we're a close source. We're much more reasonable than saying going to a nursery in Vegas. And date palms are not generally available in small sizes. If you want a date palm, you've got to get a big one and spend thousands of dollars from a nursery. We can fill that void. We can get you into a little smaller tree for a much reasonable price, much more reasonable price.
Are you just calling that number there? No.
Yeah, just call the phone number, and it all goes into the gift shop and bakery. We have, currently we've got 4 or 5 people who rotate to the bakery. We've got the volunteers and 3 or 4 people working in the fields. It's a busy place. Yes. People can come down. They can walk through the grove and watch us working in the trees. You can walk around the property. We've got signs telling you about the different types of dates and where they originate from. Dates come from places like Morocco and Algeria and Saudi Arabia and Iraq. So by reading the signage, they'll find out a lot about the history of dates.
And you have a beautiful home down there. Who built that for you?
Yeah, we do. We have an adobe house. We made about 18,000 adobe bricks and made the house ourselves out of the bricks we made ourselves.
That's a whole nother show.
It was quite a project.
Yes,
it's a
fantastic.
great place to live. Yeah, wonderful
yes,
house.
It's a beautiful area, and it's got a lot of palm trees.
Right.
All right, thank you, Brian. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we enlightened you a little bit, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you at the China Ranch.
Thank you.